everyone, this is Heather. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I have a card tutorial for you and we're going to make this fun fall scene card with the truck and the fall tree with a big pumpkin in the back. And I'm actually turning a Christmas set into a fall set. So I'm going to be using the Farmhouse Christmas set from Stampin' Up. This is available in the new Stampin' Up catalog for Christmas, and this is Farmhouse Christmas. It's got a really great truck, a farmhouse, trees, accessories, some great sentiments. As always, I apologize for my lighting. So we're going to be using the truck, the tree, and one of the sentiments. And I'm also going to be using the coordinating dies. I'm going to be using the fence, the truck, and the little skinny rectangular die for the words. And you're going to need a sheet of orange cardstock. I've just taken a piece of cardstock from the Toil and Trouble cardstock set. This is the orange that comes in the cardstock pack, and I've just cut and scored and folded an 8.5 by 11 sheet for my base. Also some brown cardstock, some white, a little bit more of the brown, a little bit more of the orange. Also this really pretty kind of wood grain pattern paper, and this is from the Farmhouse pattern paper set. It's got some stripes on the back, but there's several really great wood grain patterns that I think work really well for fall. And then I'm also using one little tiny piece from the pumpkin paper that comes in the Toil and Trouble pattern paper pack. It's got brooms on the back and all these pumpkins. So I'm taking just the tiniest little pumpkin that's on top of one of the stacks here to make the pumpkin in the back of the truck. So I'm just cutting off just that little snippet there. So I'm going to start off by stamping my truck with Memento black ink because I'm going to be using some Stampin' Blends alcohol-based markers. And the colors I'm going to be using are light and dark soft suede, light crumb cake, dark pumpkin pie, calypso coral and dark, and light daffodil delight. And also I've got just a black marker as well. So I'm going to stamp out my truck on white cardstock. And then while I have my ink out, I'm going to grab just a small little piece of the orange cardstock, and I'm going to stamp out the From Our Home to Yours. I'm going to be die cutting this, so I just want to make sure I leave enough space for the die to go around. Then I'm also going to take my piece of wood grain pattern paper and stamp the tree. I'm going to be stamping it directly on the pattern paper. And about 3/4 of an inch up from the bottom, I'm going to stamp out my tree. So there's my tree on the pattern paper. I'm going to bring my truck back over and do some coloring. So first I'm just going to take my black marker and just fill in the tires. This is just a thin black marker pen. So now that I have my tires colored in, I'm going to color the entire truck in the light crumb cake. And I'm going to avoid kind of the front bumper, the wheels, and the steering wheel. So now that I'm done coloring in with the light crumb cake, I'm going to go in and do some shading and shadowing with the dark crumb cake. So now that I've got some dark added on there, I'm going to take the lighter color and go over and blend those two together. Now that I'm done with my blending, I'm going in with the lighter color, and I think that I misspoke. I actually used light and dark soft suede. I think I was saying crumb cake, but this is actually soft suede. Sorry about that. And now I am using the light crumb cake, and I'm doing the bumper and the middle part of the tires, the side mirrors, and the steering wheel. I'm going to take my yellow and I'm going to add just a little bit of yellow to those headlights. So now I'm done coloring my truck, and I have left the tree uncolored because we're going to be cutting that off. So I'm gonna take my coordinating truck die and take just a little bit of repositional tape. You could use washi tape, any type of low tack tape will work. I'm just gonna line that up and tape it in place. And then I'm also going to take the tiny little rectangle die over the words. And then I'm also going to take an extra piece of brown cardstock and run that through with the fence. So I have run all my dies through my die cut machine. And on the fence, it has lots of little bits and pieces. So I really recommend this Sizzix tool. It comes with a foam pad and a roller brush, and it is perfect for any kind of detailed dies. You just run the brush over top and it pops out all those little pieces. So now I am ready to add my pumpkin to my truck. So I'm just taking this small pumpkin from the pattern paper and cutting it out, and I'm gonna leave just a little bit of a white border around the pumpkin. And now with my pumpkin cut out, I'm gonna take my truck and I'm going to cut away the Christmas tree. So just kind of carefully follow the stamped lines, and I'm gonna cut in just a little bit, hope you can see, on the roof of the car, and just cut away that tree. Then I'm gonna get my pumpkin and kind of figure out where it looks best. So I think that looks pretty good. I'm gonna turn it over, holding it in place, and take just a little piece of just regular Scotch tape and tape that down. And now I want to make sure that it still looks like it's behind the windows of the truck. So I'm going to take my orange marker and just color in that window there, just to give it some continuity so that it looks like the pumpkin is actually in the back of the truck. So now I'm ready to color my tree, and I'm going back to my light and dark soft suede, the same colors that I used for the truck. I'm going to completely color the tree with the light soft suede. And now I'm going to go in with the darker marker, just like we did on the truck, add some shading and some shadowing with this darker color. And I'm going to go back over with the lighter marker and blend these two together. So now that I am done coloring the trunk of my tree, I'm ready to add my leaves. And I almost forgot earlier to stamp out my little wreath to put on the front of my truck. So I've gone ahead and stamped that out with the Memento ink. And I'm just going to take my marker and add just a few little dots of the yellow, which is daffodil, the calypso coral, and the pumpkin. And I'm also just going to add just a little bit of brown in there, just so that it's kind of a speckled fall colors. And then I'm going to die cut it as well and run it through my die cutting machine. So with the leaves on the tree, I'm taking the brush side of the marker and I'm just pushing down, just touching the edge. I'm not going straight down, it's kind of at an angle, and I'm just touching the tip of that marker in random areas. And it gives you almost a perfect little pretty leaf shape. So I'm just starting out with the lighter color, going around sort of in a halo of the tree. Grab the pumpkin, and you can overlap and fill in, it doesn't matter, it's real quick and loose. And now that I feel like I've got enough of that pumpkin, I'm going to go in with the coral. Just adds a little touch of a reddish to it. And now we've got a pretty fall tree. Isn't that great? So this is a really fun way to add some color and pattern to this bare tree. You could also do it for spring with some pastel colors. Leave it bare, maybe put a little bit of snow on it for winter. It's just a quick and easy way to make a leaf tree. So now that I'm done with all my stamping and die cutting, I'm ready to assemble my card. So I'm going to take my fence that I've die cut and I'm placing it on a scratched piece of paper, and I'm using a glue pen to apply glue to the back. You could also use a glue stick or liquid glue. Just want to get some adhesive on those lines. And now I'm going to apply this to the front of my pattern paper that has my stamped tree on it. I'm just going to line that up. And I have applied foam adhesive to the back of my truck, which is going to go on the front here. I've also applied it to the wreath that's going to go on the front of my truck, and to my little sentiment, which is going to go in the upper left-hand corner. And now I'm just going to apply tape runner to the back. And I'm going to apply this to my brown cardstock, which has been cut to 5 1/4 by 4. And I think I forgot to mention in the beginning that my pattern paper is cut to 5 by 3 3/4. So I have applied that, and then this is going to go on my card front. And here is our finished fall card. I think this is a really fun way to get a little bit more from some of your stamp sets by turning this great winter set into more of a fall set by just adding some leaves to the tree and putting that cute little pumpkin in the back of the truck. So I hope you enjoyed this card tutorial. Please check out my channel. I've got lots of other card tutorials and product reviews for you, and I hope you have a very happy fall. This is Heather. Bye.